So now I will teach you about convoy effect. Okay, what is convoy effect? Just see the spelling, write it properly. Convoy effect. So in the last lecture, I taught you about first come first serve algorithm. So what was the disadvantage of that algorithm? In that algorithm, the main disadvantage was that the shorter job, if a longer job arrives first, then since it is a non-preemptive algorithm, then definitely it has to complete the whole task. So other shorter jobs which are coming after that will have to wait for longer in order to get their turn. Okay, so this problem is called convoy effect. So basically, what is the meaning of convoy? Convoy means a group of cars traveling together. So here, what's the problem that the common people they face? Suppose you want to cross a road, but you are simply denied by the security guards, by the police security guards, all these guys. Why? Because the minister's car will pass by that road. So you have to wait for a longer time. Maybe after 20 minutes, the minister's car will pass and you have to wait for 20 minutes. Okay, it means what? Starvation is happening. You have to wait unnecessarily. So first comes first serve algorithm, it suffers from convoy effect. So let me explain you with the help of an example. Suppose there are 4 processes. Is it visible? Okay. P1, P2, P3, P4. And the arrival times of these processes are 0, 1, 2, 3. And the burst time is, suppose P1 has a burst time of 7, P2 has 3, P2 has 5, P3 has 3, and P4 has 1. Let's say P1 has a burst time of 15 seconds, suppose. So here, if we apply first come first serve algorithm, then see what will happen. Let's draw the Gantt chart. So here you see, I already told you that in first come first serve algorithm, the process which comes earlier will get its turn first. Here P1 came earlier, so at 0 second P1 came, so P1 will get the turn and P1 will run for 15 seconds. Okay, then P2 comes. Actually P2 came in the first second, but since you see AT is equal to 1, so P2 came in T is equal to 1 second, but since P1 was running, so CPU was not allocated to P2 because it is a non-preemptive scheduling. So P2 has to wait for its turn. So now after P1, P2 came. P2 then ran for 5 seconds, so 15 plus 5, 20. After P2, P3 came. P3 then ran for 3 seconds, 20 plus 3, 23. And then P4 came. P4 ran for just 1 second. Okay. So on the basis of this, So on the basis of the arrival time, process P1, P2, P3, P4 are drawn. So let's see how convoy effect is happening here. So let's calculate the waiting time. Before that, you should write the completion time. The completion time of P1 is 15 seconds. Completion time of P2 is 20 seconds. Completion time of P3 is 23. And then P4 is 24. Okay. Now let's calculate the turnaround time. Actually, in order to calculate the waiting time, you can directly calculate with the help of your intuition. But here, in order to have a good practice, I am also calculating the turnaround time. So what is the turnaround time? Completion time minus arrival time. So here it is 15. P2's turnaround time 20 minus 1, 19. Then 23 minus 2, 21. 24 minus 3, 21. Now let's calculate the waiting time. Now you see. So the waiting time of P1 is, what's the formula of waiting time? Turnaround time minus burst time. Turnaround time is 15. 15 minus 15, 0. Waiting time of P2 is 19 minus 5, 14. Waiting time of P3 is 21 minus 3, 18. And waiting time of P4 is 20 minus 1, 20. So now you see how convoy effect is happening. Here, P1 arrived first, okay, and the burst time of P1 was highest. So what happened? But P1 didn't wait for a single second. Immediately it got scheduled since it arrived earlier. But after that, you see, P2 came. P2's burst time is less than P1's burst time. Despite having less burst time, P2 have to wait for 14 seconds, so longer, just imagine. And you see, at the end, P4 is there, who has the lowest burst time of 1 second. But P4 has to wait for the longest time of 20 seconds. So this is called convoy effect. Here, due to the arrival of the process, due to the earliest arrival of the process which has the longest burst time, other process which have shorter burst time may have to wait for longer time. That's what happening in convoy. You are not allowed to cross the road until that car passes by. Okay, so this is called convoy effect. Okay,